I heard the crack before I understood what it meant. Plastic splitting, cardboard tearing, my son's gasp, sharp, animal, small. The room froze for half a breath, then laughter spilled out like champagne, loud, careless, familiar. My sister stood in the center of it all, one heel planted on the wrapping paper, her hand still clutching the remains of what had been a toy. She smiled the way people do when they know they'll be forgiven before they apologize. I felt my pulse drop instead of spike. That scared me more than the sound of my son crying. Someone clapped, someone filmed, and my father at the head of the table went very still. That was when I knew something irreversible had begun. Birthdays were sacred to me, not because of balloons or cake, but because they were promises, proof that I could give my son what I never had, attention without conditions, love without humiliation. My family hated that about me, especially my sister. She'd always treated joy like a weakness, something to poke until it bled. Growing up, she learned early that cruelty, if delivered with humor, passed for charm. My parents let it slide. They called it confidence. I learned silence instead. When my son was born, I thought things might change. New blood, new rules. I was wrong. They smiled at him, praised him, then watched closely, waiting for a chance to remind me where I came from. I should have known better than to let them into that living room. I should have remembered how laughter sounded right before something broke. It wasn't just the gift, it was the way she did it, slow, deliberate. She'd asked my son to show everyone how it worked. She took it from his hands, under the excuse of helping. Then she twisted the hinge too far. Once, twice. Crack. The room laughed before my brain caught up. I looked around. My mother's smile was tight. My brother avoided my eyes. Phones were raised. Nobody moved to help my son. And my sister? She bowed. That was when the unease set in. Not anger, not yet. Calculation. Because this wasn't impulsive, this was rehearsed, and rehearsals mean intent. My son didn't cry loudly. He went quiet. That hurt more. I knelt beside him, felt his shoulders shaking. When I looked up, my sister shrugged. "It's just a toy," she said. "Kids need to learn disappointment." Something in me clicked into place. I saw the pattern then. Every joke, every ruined moment, every time I was told I was too sensitive. This wasn't sibling rivalry. It was control, a performance she needed an audience for. I stood slowly, the room quieted, confused by my calm. Before I could speak, my father reached for his hand. He slid his wedding ring off, metal against skin, soft, final. 4 words followed, flat, deadly. "This ends right now." No one laughed after that. I didn't explode. I didn't scream. I didn't demand apologies. I watched. Over the next few days, I replayed everything. Old messages, videos, jokes she'd made when she thought no one was recording. I noticed how often she needed witnesses, how she crumbled without them. Silence became my weapon. I let her think she'd won. I let the family stew in discomfort. I let my father's words hang unanswered. Then I planned, carefully, quietly, because revenge isn't loud, it's precise. The next gathering was her engagement party. I arrived early, helped set up, smiled. When the speeches began, I stood last. I didn't accuse, I narrated. I played the video, my son's birthday, unedited, the laughter, the crack, her smile. The room shifted, oxygen thinned. Then I showed messages, her words, her jokes, her pride. She laughed once, weakly. No one joined her. My father stood. He didn't raise his voice. "You don't humiliate children," he said, "and you don't make cruelty a family tradition." She tried to speak. He raised a hand. The power moved. You could feel it. She left without her ring. That night I tucked my son into bed. He asked if his aunt was mad at him. I told him no. I told him the truth, that sometimes adults break things because they're empty inside. He slept. I stood alone in the kitchen listening to the quiet. It felt earned. Families don't change with screams. They change with moments no one can undo. I still hear the crack sometimes, but it doesn't hurt anymore, because this ended right then.